It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. Every single second, the sun beams down more energy to our planet than all of humanity uses in an entire year. So how do we actually catch that power? Well, in this explainer, we're going to unlock the science of solar power. We'll find out how these simple, silent panels turn pure sunlight into the electricity that powers our world.
I mean, it really does feel like a bit of magic, doesn't it? You've got these flat boxes just sitting on a roof. There are no moving parts, no noise, nothing. And yet, they generate enough power to run your entire house. How on earth is that possible? That's the exact puzzle we're about to solve together.
Okay, so to open up this magic box, we have to start with what's inside. And the secret, it isn't some super exotic space-age material. No, it's actually something you're already very, very familiar with, even if you don't realize it.
That's right, silicon. It's the same stuff, the same fundamental element that's at the very heart of the computer chips that power, well, pretty much our entire modern lives. But inside a solar panel, its unique properties are put to work in a completely different and, frankly, brilliant way.
So what makes silicon so special for this job? Well, it's something called a semiconductor. Think of it like this. You've got conductors, like a copper wire, which let electricity flow like a fire hose. Then you have insulators, like rubber, which stop it cold. Silicon is in that perfect sweet spot, right in the middle. It gives us the ability to control exactly how and when electricity moves through it. And that control, that's everything. All right, so now that we know our key ingredient, let's get to the main event, that incredible moment when sunlight actually transforms into electricity. It all comes down to a really simple, really fundamental principle of physics. And that's it, really. At its most basic level, that is all electricity is, just a bunch of electrons on the move. So the entire job of a solar panel is to get electrons moving, and to do it using nothing but the energy from the sun.
Now, this whole process has a fancy name, the photovoltaic effect, but the idea behind it is beautifully simple. Just imagine sunlight as a stream of tiny little energy particles called photons. When these photons bombard the silicon, they act like a cue ball in a game of pool. They just crash right into the electrons and boom, knock them loose from their atoms with a burst of energy.
Okay, so sunlight has just created a bit of chaos, right? There are millions of electrons that have been knocked loose inside this panel. But here's the thing. A chaotic swarm of electrons isn't useful electrical current. We need them all marching together in one single, organized direction.
This is the next critical piece of the puzzle. How do you take that random pool ball-like scattering and turn it into an orderly, one-way street for electrons? Well, this is where the true genius of solar cell engineering really shines. The solution is actually baked right into the design of the cell itself. See, a solar cell is made of two specially treated layers of silicon. The top layer is doped with certain impurities that give it a surplus of electrons, making it negatively charged. The bottom layer is doped to have a shortage of electrons, making it positive. This powerful imbalance between the two creates an electric field, which acts like a one-way slide. So here's the aha moment. The second that sunlight knocks an electron loose, that built-in electric field, that slide, instantly grabs it and forces it to move in only one direction. And that organized, one-way flood of countless electrons, that is exactly what we call an electric current. That's the electricity we can actually use.
So we've done it. We've created an electric current inside the panel. Fantastic. But there's one last crucial step we have to take to get that power from your roof to your television, your laptop, or your toaster.
You see, solar panels produce what's called direct current, or DC. That's where electrons flow in one constant direction, kind of like water in a straight pipe. But our homes and the entire power grid, they're all built to run on alternating current, or AC, where the flow of electrons rapidly switches back and forth. They're basically two different languages of power. And this is where a little device called an inverter comes in. It's basically an essential little box that acts as a power translator. It takes that smooth DC power coming from the panels and converts it into the AC power that your appliances can actually understand and use. Without it, the whole system just wouldn't work. By the way, the reason the grid uses AC is because it's way more efficient for sending power over long distances. So once that power is converted, it has three potential jobs to do. First, and most importantly, it powers your home in real time. Now, if you're making more power than you need, it can be stored in a battery system for later. And if your batteries are already full, that extra power can actually flow out to the public grid for your neighbors to use. And this leads to one of the absolute coolest parts of having solar power. When you send that extra electricity to the grid,
The utility company actually has to credit you for it. This means on really sunny days, your electric meter can literally spin backward. You're not just saving money, you're actually earning it straight from the sun.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, it's pretty easy to see why this is such a big deal. Solar power is completely silent, it produces zero emissions, it runs on a fuel source that's free and, literally endless, and it's incredibly scalable. You can power anything from a tiny watch to massive solar farms that are visible from space. And hey, to really get how practical this technology is now, let's just clear up a couple of common myths. First, people think panels need a perfectly clear, sunny day. Nope, they still generate power through cloud cover, just a little less of it. And second, the panels themselves don't store energy. That's the job of a separate battery system. So there you have it, from a tiny particle of light hitting a piece of silicon all the way to the power running through your socket. It's this elegant, silent process that transforms pure physics into practical, clean energy. And knowing we can do that, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other amazing, invisible forces are all around us, just waiting for the right genius trick to unlock them?